And you're living in the
people
sex in the sex
in the what?
In the sex century.
The what?
I can't do this podcast anymore.
Sorry, Brittney, the what?
The 6th century. What's up, weirdlings?
It's your ExtraterrestriPals, Cambria.
And I'm Brittney.
What's up? How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
How's your week been?
It's
been a whole week.
Yeah, whole week since we've been here.
Whole week. How many Amityville nightmares have you had since then?
Oh, geez. A handful.
Oh, I've had at least one. It's a lot.
No UFO sightings this week.
Which is unfortunate because what are we covering today?
Ancient aliens.
Yeah, we're talking about alien stuff.
Yeah.
Ancient Aliens is a staple and a classic for anyone who is into any kind of like paranormal media.
How could
It's
you
great.
miss it? Yeah.
It was aliens.
Aliens.
The meme.
The most memeable.
Most memeable, like of
Absolutely.
all time. I love it.
So for this episode, we're talking about the episode in season 3. Came out in 2011 called Aliens, Plagues, and Epidemics.
Yeah, it feels very apropos. We are like just now, for anyone listening in the future, like 1 year out from the beginning of COVID.
Yeah. And hopefully
COVID-19.
Hopefully the beginning of the end.
Yes, I'm fully vaccinated. You're half
I'm half vax.
Yes, half vax.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be fully vaxxed next week.
Yes.
Very excited.
We've survived thus far, but this feels very, maybe too close to home. Did we
it's
pick
timely.
a bad? Did we pick a
No,
bad?
I think it's great.
I think it's fine.
I don't think Ancient Aliens is very serious.
It does feel a little bit like some of this was foreshadowing for now, though. Some of
Well-
the stuff they say, I was like, oh, but you guys don't even know what's going on in 2020 out here, do you?
don't even know.
In 2011, y'all were so naive and so innocent. Oh,
Babies.
shit.
Just babies.
Yeah, it's intense and it's real and it's also very fun to talk about.
It's good times. So the whole theory of this episode is that, well, it's a little bit unclear, but that somehow plagues and aliens are tied together.
Yeah.
At one point, maybe aliens are trying to kill us with plague.
Maybe it's not on purpose. Maybe it is on purpose.
Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's not on purpose. Maybe they're trying to save us from other plagues by, like, this is them trying to, like, inoculate us. It's very unclear.
We're just going to draw the line that plagues and aliens definitely connected. We don't know how.
Yeah. Yes. And a whole bunch of guys, almost exclusively dudes, are going to tell us how.
Also, though, like, a lot of legit, like, PhDs.
Yeah, lots of letters
and
behind
like,
names. Yeah.
people who work for places like MIT.
Yeah.
So at least this time, I feel like we have maybe some experts.
Yeah. Do you think that they all knew that they were being interviewed for Ancient Aliens?
No. In fact, I made a conscious note to look at what exactly was coming out of the expert's mouth. And if at any point they said something like what the narrator was implying they were saying, that rarely lines up.
Yeah.
We got a lot of smart talk. We got a lot of dramatic narration. Where are we going? Where's the context?
Yeah, I feel like they were like, hey, we want to interview you for a History Channel show. And they were like, History Channel? Yeah, I'm
Hell
in.
yeah.
And then they were watching and they were like, wait a minute, is that me?
Oh,
wait
God.
a minute, is it?
They got a call from someone saying, you're on Ancient Aliens. They were like, no!
What? No, I'm on a History Channel show. And they were like,
It was a documentary.
Yeah.
It was legit.
It's about science. It was Ancient Aliens.
Also, George Norrie. I literally, every
I
time
know.
he came on screen, actually yelled out loud, George Norrie.
I know, I love him.
Every time.
We bonded early on in our relationship over
I love George Norrie.
Yeah.
Coast to coast, man.
Great show.
It's great.
The best.
Yeah, I used to listen to that when I couldn't sleep at night,
Me too.
which sometimes was super fun and was sometimes did not help my insomnia.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm assuming if you listen to this podcast, you would love it.
Coast,
And you'd love it. If you haven't listened, go listen.
Yeah.
It's on the AM. You're going to hear about all kinds of shit.
Speaking of all kinds of shit.
Yes.
We kick off the episode with this sighting of an aerial object in 1917 in Portugal.
Yeah.
So they describe this cloudless day.
So beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Bright
in
and
Portugal,
cloudless.
so great. And 3 children claim to see something in the sky. The children say it's the Virgin Mary, and she promises to give the people a sign from God.
Yeah. I'm confused as to how is it the Virgin Mary? Did they ever say? I thought it was.
No,
Okay.
I assume it was just like the bias of the children.
We're seeing things through a religious lens again. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing.
So there's a whole litany of people involved here. I don't know if we want to name them all, but it's like half of this show, half is narration and half is quotes from people.
I also love that the experts say that there were like 100,000 people who
Yeah.
witnessed this.
Okay, so I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but according to, like, how do we know that number? Where did that number come from?
Yeah. And this was in 1917, so it's not like we're talking about the Dark Ages.
No, yeah, we should be able to trace that, but apparently that's not what we're trying to do here. So
apparently there's a name for this called the miracle of the sun. The people who saw it said that the sun started spinning in the sky
like
and
a
then
disc,
was like blue and yellow and was changing size, and they said it lasted for like 10 minutes.
Chris Pittman is one of our dudes. He says that about the spinning disc. No sourcing on that.
That's what the internet says.
That's
so I don't know
say.
who said this originally.
Yeah. It was
our friend Chris is definitely telling us about it.
I mean, he's a UFO historian.
Which I didn't know was a thing.
Apparently it is.
I mean, I don't know if that's funny to me or impressive.
That's cool.
Maybe a little bit of both.
How many episodes do we have to do before we're UFO historians? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Is it 100? 10?
No, I feel like the threshold's way lower.
If we wrote 10 books, we would for sure be an expert on something. I think you only have to write 3 books. So does one podcast episode equal 1 book? We're super experts.
Well, 3, I guess. 3, the first one was a twofer.
Oh, well, I mean, I think it still counts, though. We should get some bonus points for having
it's
to
per
suffer
hour.
through with
How many
Stan
hours?
for that long. Yeah, exactly. The sun turns into a disc. It's spinning in the sky. 100,000 people apparently see this in this small village of Fatima.
Also, if it's a small village, how many hundreds of thousands of people?
Yeah, that seems like a big village.
Just saying, that just occurs to me now.
Seems like a very big village.
Okay, friends. This is an example of size is relative.
Yeah.
Small village. Okay.
Compared to London.
The small village of Manhattan.
Yes, it's just a wee borough of a bigger city. Sure. I guess the children see an apparition. They see a bodied person, hence they think it's the Virgin Mary. And the children say that the apparition tells them that God is very, very angry with the world and that there is going to be a punishment.
Yeah. This makes me wonder, what did you do?
A thing that I tell my children all the time is that grown-ups go to grown-ups for help with grown-up problems. If a grown-up asks you for help, they're being tricky, right? Because if I need help changing a tire or finding a lost dog or helping a neighbor with her groceries, I don't ask a child, I ask an adult. And if an adult's asking you for something...
He's a kidnapper.
So how come this apparition is telling only children? There's 100,000 people up there. You got to imagine some of them are adults. I'm just saying. That's weird. So some people think it's a miracle and other people think it's a hoax. And then the narrator's like, but according to ancient astronaut theorists, which I think we should make a drinking game out of.
Yeah. I think in perpetuity, forever, whenever we hear that said in this show, we got to take a shot.
Yeah, shots every time you hear ancient astronaut theorists.
These episodes are 45 minutes or less. We will be plastered for everyone.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll be safe. We record in person together and then we will sleep over. So, which will be great.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah. So the ancient astronaut theorists think that this is an extraterrestrial encounter. They're not buying into the religious thing. They think that this is aliens.
Of course. Of course. We have Philip Coppens, who is one of our authors.
We have many Philips.
Yes.
There are 2 Philips.
Multiple
for sure
Philips.
Yeah.
Philip,
I started calling them...
Philip and Philip.
Mm-hmm. I started calling them... Philip and Philip, exactly. Yeah. Wilson Phillips. I started calling them Philip No Hair and Philip Long Hair.
I like it.
Yeah, because there's a shaved head Philip and then Philip with hair to his shoulders.
I'm pretty sure this is shaved head.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so this is no hair. Philip No Hair.
Philip No Hair. Philip Coppens.
He plainly says this apparition didn't identify itself.
Yeah.
That it's through the lens of religion that he's assuming they assumed it was the Virgin Mary.
It's the children who assumed. The apparition wasn't like, hey, what's up? I'm the Virgin Mary.
Yeah,
you heard of me. You heard of me.
You heard me.
You know who I am.
I'm Virgin Mary.
I'm the Virgin Mary.
I'm here in person, not on a piece of toast. I feel like it's a little bit of a callback to Amityville where it was like all of these events, but seen through a very specific lens.
Right.
I see things through a lens. I think everyone does. I think it's important to try to realize you see things through a lens.
Yeah.
I think to assume that you're never going to be biased on anything is to set yourself up for trouble.
Yeah. So I guess the thing with this apparition, this Virgin Mary that we see in the sky, is that soon after, within a year, there is an outbreak. The big outbreak of the Spanish flu, which kills a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how they're linking the two of these together.
Well, they're not either, and they're not going to do any more about it. It's just that this happened and then that happened.
This, then that.
This, then that. So
causation.
What else do you want?
Not science.
I guess not. I guess not.
But Spanish flu is like a big one. I remember when COVID started and people were really fighting against masks and things.
Yeah.
Look at the Spanish flu. When that first broke out, it was really exacerbated by people not taking any precautions. And then it kind of dropped off. It seemed like people taking precautions helped a lot.
Barely 100 years ago. Like you said, like we had medicine.
Like 100 years to like almost to the year.
Yeah.
I mean, with COVID-19.
Yeah.
Thankfully, COVID has not been quite to the scale of Spanish flu. Spanish flu, that's scary shit. And it only lasted a year. It burned itself out real fast. But man, it took a lot of people with it.
Yeah, good that it burned out fast because 50 million
It didn't
people.
know when to stop mutating.
Yeah.
It was like, good.
crazy.
Very lethal. And I can't do anything.
Ah, man. I done did myself out.
Yep, and now I'm just a regular germ.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I mean, they made the history books.
Yeah, well, good point.
Hey, Spanish flu, everyone will remember you because you were a dick.
So here we're going to make the connection between the alien encounters and these plagues, and the way we're going to make that connection is that David Childress is just going to tell us. So he says, I'm going to quote this, he says, it's quite possible that many of the plagues, and he says plagues. Instead of plagues, he says plagues. Many of the plagues really occurred because alien beings came here and brought with them microbes and bacteria and diseases.
Which, in theory, if you believe that aliens are visiting, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, sure, they probably got colds.
I mean, you know, if we got germs, which apparently we learn in this documentary, we have germs. We have a lot of germs. We have a scary amount of germs on this planet.
Many germs.
I have a new phobia.
Oh, that's not, I don't like that. Most of them are helping.
It's okay. I have phobias, fleeting phobias about a lot of things.
Okay, well, that's, I mean, you know, I guess we all do.
They kind of spin into like disease has been responsible for more deaths than every war in human history. And I'm like, that's not shocking to me.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't
That's not shocking to me at all. You're saying this like it's a bombshell narrator. It's not.
Narrator. We've got another PhD here, Adrian, Dr. Mayer. That's what I'm going to call her from here on out, Dr. Mayer. She's research scholar at Stanford.
At Stanford! Motherfucking Stanford University!
That's like a big deal. That's a big deal.
That's amazing.
She postures, is that the word that you use?
Postulates?
Postulates that...
I don't know.
We have, from the beginning, we have tried to link, you know, stuff happening in the sky, whether that be in a religious context or in a, you know, extraterrestrial context, to these plagues.
I think unexplained things, sometimes maybe you link those up in your brain.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
She says in antiquity, and I don't know, I know what that means. It means like old. We can't be any more specific.
No, antiquity sounds more fancy.
That's true. It does sound more fancy, a little more dramatic.
I mean, if you're a PhD, use that lexicon.
Right here, there's like a totally unnecessary crack of thunder.
For emphasis.
I guess. We have another, again, a million people. They're kind of my favorite part of this, though. Richard Radar.
Yes.
Yeah, I love him.
Is it Radar or Radar?
I don't know. I'm going to say Radar.
Okay.
It's Radar. It's ER.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, it's Radar now. Missed opportunity.
But Radar is a cool name, too.
It's true. Damn.
Both
We're
are
going to
cool.
use them interchangeably.
Sure. Radar.
That's the gift we're giving to you today, Richard.
Radar. Richard says that in the mythological imagination, plagues were always the result of a god being upset with us. Richard, there's no one in antiquity that is like willing to say maybe it's just a thing that happens.
No.
It's always an angry god, that's it.
Always.
Okay. And they're telling us about the ancient Egyptian god of disease named Set.
Set. Yep. And it looks like Seth, but it's pronounced Set.
Which is why I got myself confused in my notes. I'm sorry about that.
I had to write it both ways because I knew I would look at that and go, Seth. The god of disease, Seth.
And then the Hittites, who called their plague god Era, which is cool. And I guess the name means fire or burning, says Dr. Mayer. So natural things happening in the world, like wildfires and lightning and stuff like that, has often been associated with gods of disease, I think is the point they're trying to make.
I think this is just true of ancient, not even ancient. I feel like we probably do this today and people in the future will look at us and go, you dumbs. But I feel like a lot of times we link things that are unexplained or things that we don't have a reason for together. So scary thing in the sky, no explanation. Right. Suddenly people are sick, no explanation. They must be linked.
Must be connected, They
have to be.
We do like to categorize things.
Yes.
In our brains.
As humans, we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. I want to categorize my TikToks. I'm very mad about it. We've already talked about this today. I want it. Hey, TikTok, because you're listening to this. TikTok, Mr. TikTok, or Miss TikTok.
Is it just Mr.
Dr. TikTok?
Dr. Talk?
His first name is Tick.
Yeah.
Dr. TikTok.
Yeah.
Please allow me to make playlists so I can literally hoard all of the media I want to. I want to watch these forever and ever, and I can't find them.
I follow 600 people on TikTok. It's out of control.
Every person I see on TikTok, I like and follow immediately.
Me too.
It's a problem.
I've probably liked 1,000 videos at least.
Oh, yeah, easily. Today.
Yeah, I said 1,000, and that seems very low now that I think about it.
1,000 this week.
I'm watching a lot of TikTok right now. It's fine. I'm just saying 1,000 does seem low.
I feel like TikTok is the therapy I need, and it's cheap and free, and I love it.
Great.
It's so good.
I love it.
It makes my day.
Me too.
Every day. Love TikTok.
I know.
Fix it, TikTok. Give me a way to make playlists.
Just please let me file them away.
I just want to watch all my recipes in a row.
Me too. All my life hacks or whatever.
Or just totally have all my things categorized how I want them.
So there's a bunch more stock images here of like hieroglyphics and statues and tablets, but no context.
No.
I don't know enough.
Which I think you're right. I think they probably just do search for old pictures, or old paintings.
Pictures. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if these are really old, right? As far as I know, they could just be
There's
all
no
made
attributions.
Up. None. That stuff bugs me. Like, I understand that this is a 45-minute show on the History Channel. Like, I get that. Aliens. But they could put a name down in the bottom of like...
And honestly, they probably should.
Discovered in this place on this year, believed to be from this culture, right? Like, they could do something. It's like, you can't even fact check it because they're just...
Or like a credit at the end where you list all the artwork you used. I mean, it would be easier to just put a little footnote on each one. But, they don't want to distract from the drama of the aliens.
Okay, sure. That makes a lot of
Don't muddy
sense.
your brain with facts, Cambria.
Don't worry about
facts and science have no place here.
Not here. Not on Ancient Aliens.
Maybe a little bit later, but it's because we have these PhDs. It's because we have PhDs that are giving us science that may or may not be related.
Yeah.
They're giving us science just as facts, not in relation to aliens.
Yes, that's true.
Here's how biology works. And then the narrator says, and aliens.
And also there's aliens.
And also,
did you guys hear him say that?
Aliens.
We're like, no, we didn't. And he's like, we'll go back and watch again. But not now because thunderclap. Whoa,
yeah. Whoa. And old artwork. Oh, it's ancient.
Gosh, I'm
Antiquity.
So apparently there is a connection in like ancient Chinese history as well.
Yes.
Connected plagues and disease to supernatural stuff. And they took it one step further by keeping really good records.
They took meticulous records. Yeah. They also have a very scary drawing that they show of like a mole rat man. They have the Great Wall of China. They have this beautiful, supposedly ancient scroll with a bunch of Chinese characters on it. They have a drawing of people looking to the heavens with some sciencey looking things. And then they have a mole rat man with no context.
Why?
He looks like he's eating paper too.
Yeah, it was bad.
I need to know what that is. Why does that relate? There are a million images you could have picked, even if they were stock thing. Why?
That's the one we needed? Because it creeps you out, I guess.
It makes me very concerned. Yeah. Not a little concerned. Very concerned.
So William Bramley, which is hard coming off of Mothman because I want to say Whamsley, but it's Bramley. So William Bramley, author of The Gods of Eden, he says that there are lots of reports connected to, and he says things that we would call comets. They called everything comets.
Yeah. But regardless, if it's in the sky, it's a comet.
Right. And we would call them UFOs. Yeah. And I'm like, we wouldn't just call them comets? No. Every time you see comet, just replace it with UFO.
That's it.
For sure. Guaranteed.
This is where I have in my notes, is it Chandra? Yeah. I don't know his last name.
I looked it up. I actually saw two different.
We don't want to mess up your name, sir. You deserve respect and you deserve to not have me butcher your last name.
Say that exactly, because he's smart.
I think names are important and names have meaning and people should be called the names they would like to be called, and I do not want to butcher your name.
That's the one. Wickramasinghe.
No,
it's not like that.
No, that's wrong.
I can't do that one, so I hope it's wrong. Yeah. Wickramasinghe.
This is the most stressed I've been since we started this podcast. Is this name right here.
Dr. Wickramasinghe. That was my very best effort. And if I didn't say it right, I am truly sorry.
We're trying.
Yeah. Wickramasinghe. It's not said in the documentary, so I just have to go off of my best judgment here.
We're going off the lower third.
Here's what
and
you
our
need
best
to know.
judgment and Google.
He's a PhD. He works at the Cardiff Center for Astrobiology. When I think of Cardiff, I think of Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Obviously. Which
also,
again, aliens. All working in together.
I didn't know astrobiology was a thing that you could study. Mm-hmm. That it's like, space life.
Space life,
specifically space life.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
I'm a little bit jealous.
If you got astrochemistry, then you're going to have astrobiology, I think.
I mean, it would make sense.
his whole point is that it's kind of universal, this connecting plagues and other natural events to astrological events. It's happening all over. It's happening in Egypt. It's happening in China. I don't know if that's at the same time. I don't know. But he's just saying it's happening in lots of places through lots of different cultures.
I think it is very likely something that has just happened because it probably feels like if it's something in the sky, it's very grand and very big scale.
Yeah.
And of course it's going to have impact on us lowly humans.
Yeah.
It's probably the gods. They're probably mad.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Why are they always mad?
I don't know.
They're always mad.
Because we're naughty, I guess. So now we're going to talk about a specific case in Greece in 430 BC.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Athens is at war with Sparta, and there's all sorts of casualties happening.
Yeah, it's very bloody, as wars are.
But in the middle of this war comes a plague, right?
Bad timing.
Yeah, right.
That's a 1-2 punch.
They never really name what this disease is, but it's described by doctor. He's an MD, so he's a medical doctor.
He's an internist.
Dr. Galpin, that their skin is turning red and they're vomiting and they're having diarrhea and their fingers turn black, and it's like,
which the picture they put with that?
All bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like gnarly fingers with holes in them and the skin is like all necrotic.
Yeah, not good.
It's not good. I also like that they show again a supposedly ancient piece of artwork. And there is the tiniest, angriest baby in that picture I've ever seen.
That.
He looks like a very tiny, angry Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Mad.
He's very mad about this plague.
He's mad.
He's angry.
Yeah, he's not into it.
I was like, oh, that's the scariest thing that's happened so far in this whole show.
Is
this tiny
corner,
baby?
Right? I saw that
oh yeah, that baby is not happy about anything in general.
Richard Radar tells us that like they're stacking bodies 12 high, and they run out of room. There's just bodies in the street, no sources, but apparently that's happening.
I mean, that kind of happened with COVID. Not to be morbid, like I believe this.
So, of course, the narrator is going to postulate that this plague came from space because that's what happens,
That's what we're talking about now.
Yeah, we get like 4 or 5 of our experts here, and everybody kind of says just like vague stuff like, things are bad when a plague hits. And
plagues are not fun.
Sometimes you can correlate plagues and political upheaval. It's like, I mean, yes. We just lived through 2020, baby. We know. Yeah.
2020 was the epitome of political upheaval and pandemic.
Yep.
Would not recommend.
Yep. And then George Norrie, friend of the pod,
George Norrie.
He says that all of this is due to the wrath of God. The wrath of God is really the wrath of extraterrestrials who want to control, manipulate, change us, and they do so in a very deliberate, evil way.
George Norrie leans into the drama and is not ashamed.
No. Good for him.
Yeah, he just is like, this is how it is.
He's a drama kid for sure.
He is a drama, period, kid. Period.
Capitals.
T,
capital K.
Exactly.
Good for him. He's a man, though. He's a drama man.
A drama man.
A drama man.
I feel like I'm still a drama kid and not a drama woman.
Well, yeah. I guess I just don't see aliens as evil.
No. I usually think of them as kind of being ambivalent.
Me too.
Like maybe curious about us, but I don't automatically assume that they're all out to get us.
No, yeah. Evil is like, has that religious context.
That's a heavy word.
And I just don't see it that way.
Okay, so middle of the 6th century.
Yeah, they bring up this other virus that supposedly nearly succeeds in wiping everybody out again.
The Justinian plague. Do you know what it is? The bubonic plague.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's what they're talking about. They never once say bubonic plague. They say Justinian plague.
Oh, but I thought the black plague was, they talk about that later.
Bubonic and black are different.
Oh.
Those are 2 different plagues.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
We have Milton Wainwright, who has a PhD, who's going to tell us about this. He has a lovely accent. He's a professor of microbiology. He is also a PhD in fucking hyperbole. Like, he's like, everything was just going okay one minute, and then all of a sudden people were kind of rotting in front of you. First of all, no, it wasn't. It was the middle of the 6th century. Nothing was going okay. The highlights were maybe chess, maybe the first use of the first use of toilet paper.
Cool.
Things were not. Those are the highlights for the whole thing. That's it.
I mean, those are pretty good highlights, though. That's pretty good.
Oh no, I'll take my cell phone.
No, I'm with you.
First of all, we have that. Second of all, okay, drama kid.
Yeah. Whoa. Like, where did this come from?
Whoa.
And of course the answer is
aliens.
Aliens. It says, just like the plague of Athens, the Justinian plague is accompanied by multiple reports of strange lights in the sky. Except that we just talked about the plague of Athens, and I don't recall talking about any strange lights in the sky. Do you?
No.
The show's like, do you remember when we told you about those lights in the sky during Athens? And I was like, no, dog. I just went back through the transcript and you did not.
The actual transcript. Thank you very much.
The actual transcript.
These aren't Brittany's shitty notes. This is a real transcript.
You talked about comets, which were UFOs for sure in China. You did not talk about any lights in the sky in Athens. Can't trick me, ancient aliens.
Try harder, do better.
You be better. But I guess during the Justinian plague, there were a bunch of sightings of strange things in the sky.
Also, headless creatures, which they don't go into any more detail about.
Don't need it.
I feel like that is very important.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We got to get to the main character of Ancient Aliens, which is, of course, our friend Giorgio.
Yes!
He's the Ancient Aliens guy, right?
It was Aliens.
They had him in the bullpen.
They did a little teaser at the beginning. He's in here, you guys. Just, you got to hang on.
Wait it out.
Hey.
Wait it out to
He's
like
here.
minute 25 or whatever this is. Here he comes with his great hair.
His hair.
And his great voice.
His enthusiasm.
His hands up by his cheeks all the time.
A lot of assumptions.
Yep.
I love it.
Always like off-colored suits too. So he's wearing like
a little bit, yeah.
camel suit or a olive suit.
That's true.
We gotta get the man just like a black suit. A charcoal suit.
A charcoal suit. It's classic.
I think I've seen him in a very bold pinstripe. In Ancient
Aliens I think
before.
he could rock a pinstripe. That's not an everyday suit, though. That's a sometimes suit.
Yeah, exactly. We just gotta get him like an everyday suit.
But never in a charcoal suit. Never.
No. Never. He's got too much drip for that. Listen.
It's too stuffy.
You gotta have something that can stand up to the hair.
You either gotta be naked or in a weird suit.
Oh, I'm so glad you chose a weird suit.
So I think he's sitting in a chair. They probably would have cropped out the bits.
I don't care.
Just would have seen some
wild
hair and some nip nops.
Listen, I'm not not Giorgio's. No, thank you.
They tuck him under his lower third.
Yeah, his little banner. So Dr. Chandra tells us that in Islamic literature, during that time from 530 to 550, there's all sorts of accounts of like the skies being dark and meteor storms and comets hitting the earth. And then also in dendrochronology. Yes. Dendrochronology, rings in trees.
Rings of the trees.
The trees is telling us that it's dark all the time during that time, and Dr. Chandra thinks that that is evidence of a lot of meteor showers and breakup of cosmic material in the atmosphere.
There was also a huge volcanic eruption during that time that historians say, like historians outside of this documentary say, especially in the northern hemisphere.
Well, that's an interesting bit of information that they left out.
From exactly this time period,
Perfect.
It like shut shit down. So not to try to break apart his argument, but I think that there were probably lots of other things that contributed. Yeah. It doesn't mean aliens and plague.
Well,
it could.
Probably not. I mean, maybe.
But I think it's important to look at all the possibilities.
I think you're right.
And not go, tree ring equals
I did not know
alien
about
plague.
this volcano, and it's making me even more kind of like, okay.
I don't remember what prompted me to look that up. It was probably because I was just really pissed that What's-His-Face said that everything was fine during the 6th century, and I was like, fuck off. No, it was not.
So here is where Philip Longhair makes the connection of like, maybe this is weaponized, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this is somewhere out in deep space. Deep space and antiquity are the same thing to me. It's like just a time.
It's just vague.
It's just a time and a place,
grandiose, and it's just vague enough they can get away with it.
But maybe they're sneezing in our general direction, and that's what's happening.
They're sneezing maliciously in our direction.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to set that aside for just a minute, and we're going to talk about Nakata. Yeah, Nakata, Egypt. Yep, that's right. Thank you. So
not that long ago.
No. No. They're talking in 1897, but the narrator tells us about all sorts of artifacts over the last, 6,000 years that have been dug up there.
Yep.
And lots of carvings of penises, apparently. There were many penises. We're going to specifically talk about the McGregor man.
Why are we naming it after a guy that, like, stole these?
That's a really good question,
I'm just saying, like,
Brittany.
why are we not naming it after, like, some of the culture that this was actually, like, taken from?
That's a great question, Brittany. And I think you know what the answer is.
Oh, shit. It's
white
people, isn't it?
White supremacy is the answer.
Damn it, white people.
Yeah. We're just...
We can say that. We're white. God damn it, white people.
The worst sometimes.
I found it. I'm going to name it after me.
It's me. It's mine. Me. And people are like, oh, can I have that back, please? Yeah. You stole that from my house. No, I did not. It's mine. Okay.
I took it from Egypt. It's mine now.
It's called the McGregor Man.
It's called the McGregor Man, which is the most Egyptian thing I've ever heard.
Awesome. So I guess some people also call it the bearded man, says Georgio. Does it look like a bearded man to you? What does it look like to you?
Not really. I don't know. It looks like a weird statue.
Yeah, it's a weird statue.
Does it look like something specific to you?
No.
I can see the correlation they're going to make here in a second. I don't know that I agree with it, but I can like see how they're going to be like, but look at this.
Seeing the statue. Okay, let's describe what the statue looks like.
Yes.
It appears to be relatively small. I'm thinking, right, like maybe 8 or 10 inches. Yeah. It's like black, like some sort of black stone. And it appears to be a person. They're kind of just standing straight up. Head and neck seem to be covered by the same thing. Like they got one of those gaiters pulled up over their heads, right? That's what it looks like with me. And if you think it looks like a person with their head covered, you and Georgio are on the same team. There's kind of a triangle that comes down from maybe like the ears down to like the middle of the chest, and people interpret it as a beard.
Yes.
Not Georgio. He says that is like indicative of a hood, of a suit.
This is all one piece, and guess what it is? Hazmat suit. Space hazmat suit.
A space hazmat suit to keep out germs and to keep in air, I guess. I don't know.
To keep in or out germs. It could go either way. Maybe they're doing it to protect us, or maybe they're doing it because they're trying to exterminate us.
Right. But they do think that it's interesting that Nakata was the ancestral home of Set, that Egyptian god of disease.
Dunk, where Seth himself lived.
Seth, the god of death.
Seth, the god of death.
Anyway, interesting that they supposedly in mythology, right? Like in the stories of this culture come from the same place.
That's a weird connection there.
Or a weird coincidence.
True. I'll take what I can get.
That's true. You know what? That's a good point.
This one, at least there seems to be some kind of through line.
It's quite a bit above the bar for this show.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Like, there's actually, like, something we can confirm.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
That's a good point. Chris Pittman says, we don't know whether these depictions are, like, of some sort of apparatus, some sort of suit, but, maybe they are. And it's like, well, yeah. Are you asking me, maybe. Christopher? I don't know. Good news. We got a new guy for you. His name is Bill, and he's got a JD behind. That's a lawyer, right? That's a Juris Doctorate, which means, like,
she's very smart.
That's a lawyer.
You guys, she's too smart.
Right?
I think so. Yes.
He's also a PhD. He's got them both.
He's also the author and publisher of UFO Magazine.
Yeah, I know.
He's just living his best life.
What a journey. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Bill Burns, with an I.
With an I.
Bill Burns. He says that if you were an alien, and I'm not saying that I am.
I'm not saying we are.
You'd want to wear some sort of suit when you came down here. Which is like,
hey, have you seen this planet? We done trashed it. Yeah, I want a suit.
I mean, listen, forget the germs. There's bugs everywhere. There's a bajillion of them. So we're going to talk more about this bearded man. We just can't let it go. The bearded man also has some sort of sheath or tube on his hip.
Where's that sheath, Cambria?
People who study Egyptology, they say it's a penis sheath.
Which,
it's on his hip.
Why would you need a sheath for it?
Because, it's a weapon, man. Crushing ladies. It's murdering that. Sorry, I said in our podcast.
Oh, no!
So, Georgio is like, definitely not a penis sheath.
No.
Absolutely not.
Somehow he is an expert on this. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. I like how he says it's anything but.
Yes. It's clear to me, he says. It's anything but a penis sheath.
How much time has he spent looking at this?
Oh.
All his time. Hey, Georgio?
Every minute Georgio has free, he's looking at penis sheaths that might be alien.
Every time he's not thinking about not buying a charcoal suit, he's.
That's right. He's like, no charcoal suits for me. Is that a penis alien sheath? Alien penis sheath?
Alien penis sheath.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot.
So he says, is it possible that this is a carving of a potential extraterrestrial? And I'm like, hey, big surprise. All right, Georgio, thank you.
And maybe, but...
2... Apparently he knows more about Egypt than the Egyptologists. I mean, it doesn't really look like one to me.
I don't know much about it, though.
It's to the side. Why is it to the side? Or maybe like when you unsheath it, you got to put the sheath somewhere, and so you put it to the side.
Oh, okay. Weapons out, sheath to the side.
Sheath to the side, because you got to have full range of motion. Sure. Then I guess, Georgio, anything's possible.
Could be an alien. Could also be what Egyptologists are saying.
What the people who study this say that it is.
Maybe.
Anyway, we're going to talk about some additional depictions.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, of weird figures potentially wearing these space suits. So they show a couple of these on the screen, and some of them are like, a little bit weird, but But again, so let's think of let me think of a good example here. How would you carve into wood a person holding an umbrella? Like, I don't have any art skills. So
no, I was about to say, first of all, I wouldn't, because I'm not very coordinated. Exactly. I would end up minus a thumb.
So, like, how would you do that? It would be hard, right?
Yeah.
And I just am saying there's a lot of things that could end up looking like this.
Yeah,
right?
and there were a couple where I was like, that looks like someone maybe in a fancy dress.
Yes.
You know, maybe in some kind of special garb.
Yes.
Maybe a ceremonial thing.
So even if you were like,
that's true.
So,
that's a good point.
I did, let's say we did Beauty and the Beast play in high school, right? And you're going to record this on a stone tablet. How are you going to make the Beast costume look? Like, it's going to look weird without context. It's going to look...
It's going to look like an ancient alien.
It's going to look like a man in a hazmat suit is what I'm trying to say. That all does.
Some of these things are so old, it's hard to source. Yeah. So we just kind of find these things and have to infer whatever. And of course, God bless them. They always infer aliens in this medium, which is fine with me. I will lean into that and love it. But also, let's maybe a little grain of salt. The one does look like a Big Daddy from BioShock.
Oh my gosh, I wrote that exact thing down, Brittney!
Stop everything.
I wrote that exact thing!
You know what? This surprises me not at all.
That's so
Is
funny.
that the fourth time that's happened in our notes for this podcast? For this episode? This specific episode.
You guys, we're very cool. You should hang out with us.
It's true. They are. They're hanging out with us right now. I hope you guys are saying the same thing at home and screaming with us.
Yeah.
Aww, that makes me really happy, actually. Hey, guys, welcome to the club. Welcome to the very loud, fun club of being in this best friend trio.
So they show a whole bunch of these examples, right? And give very little context. Yeah. They don't even say, like, where they're from.
No, that's true.
They do say that there's some in Central America. Don't give any years. Don't give any other context. They're just like,
look how crazy this looks.
Here's an out-of-context
alien.
Image. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
We don't understand what this is, but it's probably extraterrestrial.
And you should believe us. Look at all these letters behind everyone's
We have
names.
a TV show.
We have a TV show. It's been on for 11 seasons.
How could we be on Netflix if we weren't telling the truth?
Shh. You know it's aliens.
It's aliens.
It's aliens.
It's always aliens.
Thank you, Georgio. We're kind of jumping around here a little bit, but we're going to talk about another plague. In 1347, apparently there were ships full of Italian sailors that just all of a sudden die. They get like black boils of blood and pus and die, which is very scary.
It's no good. And you're on a ship in a...
little bit. And I guess this is how the Black Plague starts, right?
Yes. I mean, I hope at this point they at least had toilet paper, but, no assurances.
I mean, apparently it goes back to the 6th century, right up there with chess.
When everything was just all great.
Good. So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Everything was great.
Yeah. Okay. So we have another person, Jonathan Young, who's a curator of some sort of archive. I don't really know much about it, but he tells us that the Black Plague is widely seen as an act of God, right? We've heard this kind of all along.
Makes me want to run my head into a wall. I'm going to say again, why is God so mad?
He's just mad all the time.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Allow us to course correct. If you're going to hit us with a plague every time we do something you don't like, you got to tell us what we're doing.
Yeah.
You can't be a vengeful and ambiguous God. I'm going to say it again. You just can't do it. It's not fair. He doesn't give any rhyme or reason, but then when he's like, nope, and instead of slapping your hand or sending you to your room, he hits you with the plague. Give me very clear, concise things I can avoid so I don't get COVID-19.
Be more specific, please. We don't understand. We don't.
I'm just leaning into my microphone slowly.
I saw your little nose poke through the other side, like those pin toys that you had. So Dr. Wainwright kind of explains some of how cruddy the Black Plague is.
You know what?
A slow, lingering, painful death. It's not a fun one.
You know what? Of all the deaths you could have, not in the top 10.
Yeah, not a good one.
Not in the top 50, probably.
So
it's bad.
Ton of people are killed. They say in today's numbers it would be 300 million people, which is a lot.
To put this in perspective, I looked up how many people have sadly lost their lives to COVID so far because that feels very big. Very big.
Yeah.
That's 3 million people worldwide.
Yeah.
So can you imagine that like times 100?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Scary stuff.
That's terrifying.
Oh
my God.
I guess they also saw those bronze ships like they did back in the Justinian plague too.
What is it with these weird bronze ships?
I don't know. They're aliens.
Yeah.
So some people think that this is just like a mass hallucination thing. They're saying that like thousands of people are hallucinating this. And they're like, how can 1,000 people be hallucinating the same thing?
And Brogno's like, but how?
And I'm like, first of all, have you heard of the Mandela effect? Second of all, have you witnessed anything that's been happening with our political situation in the last 4 years?
That's true.
Turns out it's not that hard to make people believe things that didn't happen, right?
Well, we talked about this last episode where like brains are powerful.
Yeah.
And you give that brain a little crumb of information and that brain is gonna run with it. Yeah. Especially if you're enfevered.
Yeah. I don't think it's crazy. And you're in a time of high stress. I don't think it's crazy at all.
Life's not great anyway. And then you gotta contend with this shit?
Yeah. So besides the bronze ships, there's other hallucinations reported somewhere to someone, which no one will tell me. There's hallucinations of like cloaked figures that have Brittany's shaking her head in a way that makes me think she's uncomfortable
I did not
with this
like
idea.
this. No, thank you.
Yeah, there are supposedly reports of them spraying things on the ground, or like supposedly they're like swinging scythes.
Yeah.
But the grass is not being cut down.
So some people theorize they're like spraying it with stuff, like chemicals or germs or something. This is horrifying.
Yeah.
Like imagining a bunch of cloaked figures like in a wheat field.
Yeah.
Just like spraying shit on there, and then everyone in the vicinity gets like super sick.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And supposedly this is where like the classic Grim Reaper image comes from.
Yeah.
Is these stories.
A hooded figure with a scythe. Mm-hmm. He says it funny though.
Yeah, he says it
Scythes. Scythe. I went to write that down. I couldn't even. I was like, I don't know how to spell that.
Me too. I wrote Siths, and then I was like, I just need to tell myself that it's not Sith like Star Wars.
I'm gonna think Star Wars.
Sith.
Scythe. Yes, like a sieve.
Yeah.
But a scythe. That's very scary
No,
imagery.
it's not
And
good.
it makes a lot of sense to connect that with the Grim Reaper, patron saint of your fucked. You're dead.
Patron saint of your fucked.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Nothing good happens. It's all bad.
That's funny.
It's very, very scary.
That's true too. Then in 1731, there were a whole bunch of UFO sightings over England, Ireland, Romania, and then there was a flu pandemic the next year. Clearly
There you
that's
go.
related. People saw a red object in the sky, and at times there was like so much heat off of this red object supposedly that people were like, dang, I gotta take off my shirt. Says in Brogno. No sources.
That's his headcanon for him. He's just very into it.
Yeah. So why is this happening? Why are plagues and aliens connected? The show suggests that maybe it's to thin out our numbers. The aliens are literally trying to kill us.
Let us trash our own planet.
Exactly.
George Norrie, again, screamed George Norrie, so excited. He was just kind of like, are you trying to like build up our immune system? Or are you trying to like wipe us out?
I guess we don't need to know or get to know.
No, I think that they just throw out every theory.
That's what this show is.
It's like spaghetti at the wall. See what sticks.
Yep. That's exactly what the show is. Here's just 100 questions we can ask,
which
but
is
we're not going to
fine,
answer
but
any of them.
I don't know that we need to then infer that if there are aliens, they are evil.
Right.
Like you did earlier.
I totally agree.
Because now he's kind of walking that back a little bit. Maybe they're trying to build our immune system.
Sure.
Maybe.
Giorgio says, well, why go through all the trouble to, come down here and kidnap us and have a war and weapons of mass destruction when you can just release a toxin down here? I guarantee that there are episodes where Giorgio is like, they're going to come down here and kill us with their actual bare hands. And I'm like, well,
kidnap
which one
us
is it,
and
my
experiment
guy?
on us.
My guy. Which one?
And like they give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think they care.
Just seems like a lot.
Okay, guy. Giorgio, pick a lane. Like, figure it out.
Pick a lane, put on a charcoal suit.
So maybe they're coming down here to kill us all, but maybe it's just like an accident, which we have lots of history for, right?
Yeah.
They talk about when Coronado came to
1540.
Yep, 1540. Coronado comes to the Americas
again with that colonizer shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But guess who did the work for him? Smallpox,
chickenpox, measles. They brought all those diseases that they had immunity for, or some sort of resilience for.
Well, germs that you're around all the time, your body's usually like, oh, we got this. Don't worry about it. Germs that are not native to you or your area can be incredibly dangerous.
That's why this particular COVID-19 coronavirus has been
no one has immunity for it.
Right, because it's new. They remember at the beginning they kept calling it the novel coronavirus, right? It's because that's why it was so scary. And it's usually, I mean, again, I'm not trying to pretend I'm a doctor. I'm not. But the limited understanding I have is a lot of times what makes us sick and what even kills us is our own immune systems going freaking gangbusters.
Yeah. Our body doesn't know quite how to fight some of this stuff. Some of it, it's like, oh, yeah, we got this. It's not a big deal. Common cold.
Just send out some antibodies. We got you.
Girl. But some of the stuff, it's like, I don't know what this is.
All hands on deck. Red alert.
All hands on deck.
And it just goes crazy, which is what happens when Coronado shows up with these new diseases that these native peoples have not seen before. They don't got to do a lot of fighting because within a couple of years, it's killed a ton of people. These
just
diseases
wipes
that
people
we
out.
know. Yep. Hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even 1 million people die because they're exposed to these white man viruses, which is like, that's a bummer, right?
Yep.
So
good job, guys.
The theory here is that maybe aliens have visited our planet all along. For more evidence on that, just keep watching Ancient Aliens.
Right.
They'll tell you about it. But they brought these diseases that are hurting us without meaning to.
Yeah. That it was to them innocuous and something they wouldn't even think about.
Right.
But to us, deadly.
They also talk about Captain James Cook, who went to
Yes.
the South Pacific, and he killed a bunch of people with his germs, right?
Yeah.
Like, this happens over and over.
Yeah, and I think
over.
anyone crossing a border to anywhere with any kind of foreign germ,
Yeah, if they were isolated from. Yeah.
could really do damage. And so you take that and multiply it by the universe.
Right.
We got a lot of possibility for it's bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's bad. Our poor little immune systems can't handle it.
So then the other idea is that it's like weaponized on purpose,
Yeah.
right? They just sent it across space.
They hate us.
So Dr. Wainwright tells us about these extremophiles.
Yes.
These organisms that live in crazy conditions.
Are those tardigrades?
I don't know what science says.
We're
I think
extremophiles to some,
to some of them, yeah. Dr.
he
Wainwright
says, which
that.
made me feel very special.
Yeah, that's how
Oh my
I feel
God.
about it. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Back
Yes,
up.
we'll back up. Rewind.
So extremophiles are not like a specific kind of bug. They're any kind of critter, really.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're talking about they're small critters,
Yeah.
microbes that live in conditions that we as humans think is extreme.
Anything where it's very, very specific conditions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would say like anything with like super high pressure, super low pressure, extremely hot. Inside volcanoes, we found bugs, and I'm saying bugs, I mean like microbes, right?
Yeah.
Microbes inside volcanoes.
Things that are like silica based instead of like
Right.
carbon based.
Yep. Or things that are living in the ice in, the North or South
Too
Pole.
cold.
It's too cold, or it's in solid ice, right? We would think nothing would be alive in
Which
there.
is
And we found lots of
very
things
too
alive
cold.
in there.
Yeah, no.
At the very, very bottom of the ocean, by thermal vents, all those things. We have found living
Life
microbes.
will find a way.
Yes, as our favorite Dr. Malcolm always
Yes.
says. Or they live in situations with very low oxygen, right? And I think tardigrades fit a lot of those. So I think tardigrades
pretty much
definitely-
everything.
Yeah, I think tardigrades definitely fit in this category. But Dr. Wainwright says, but to them, we're the extremophiles, right? To them, that's normal. If we take them out of those situations, a lot of times they don't live. So what is extreme to us as humans doesn't always apply to everything else. You talk about in 2007 when they take a rock, they cover it in germs,
Yes.
they put it on the International Space Station, and after 18 months
In space. Yeah. It is not life friendly.
Nope.
We could say.
And because I think they were saying because the International Space Station is in a low orbit, sometimes it brushes the atmosphere. Sometimes it's really hot, right?
Yeah. Oh, temperature fluctuations back and forth from freezing cold to extremely hot.
Exactly.
It's not a friendly place for anything to be, and some of this shit survived.
Yeah.
After a year and a half.
With no new stuff, right? You think it needs something to eat.
No.
Right?
Just living on a rock.
That's fine.
Living their
It's like
best
not even
life out in
worried about it.
space.
Not even worried about it. Totally unfussed.
Yeah.
NASA takes all sorts of precautions, making sure that like our stuff doesn't get on other planets. We don't want to show up and do that and have our germs mess up the germs that could potentially have.
Well,
this
and
life
even
on
just
other
for
planets.
sciencey stuff,
Exactly.
you don't want to contaminate your results.
Exactly.
You don't want to put a swab of a virus in a petri dish and then lick the petri dish.
Ew.
Like you're not gonna get.
Ew, why would you say that?
It was just a good visual, I thought.
Yeah,
for
very good.
contamination.
It sounds gross.
Or spit in a petri dish. Is that a little better?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
But what you're doing is contaminating your results. The idea is to not interfere as much as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you send up your space equipment with a bunch of Earth germs on it,
Then how do you know what's
how
what?
are you going to know anything?
Exactly. And then in 2006 and 2008, biologists on a whole bunch of shuttle missions took salmonella up there.
This scares me very much. This discovery. This discovery scares me very much.
Yeah, so they take salmonella up into space thinking
For
our
reasons.
bodies don't do so good in zero gravity, like we lose muscle or all sorts of things don't work quite as
Salmonella
well.
is not going to like it either.
You'd think, right?
Hey, guess what? This is the Shyamalan twist. It does.
It gets worse.
It gets 700% worse.
As much as. Yeah.
Very, very bad.
Yeah, so
very
salmonella is
deadly.
like, we'll see you
Into
zero
it.
gravity and raise you more bad for you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit upsetting.
Hey, remember how this was kind of a stomach bug? Don't eat raw cookie dough? Yeah, now it will literally kill you and your entire family.
Yes, so
from a
scary.
distance, from space.
And part of the reason the salmonella got like crazier, became this like superbug salmonella, is because it mutated more in space, which is what makes viruses like get out of hand. Like that's what happened with the Spanish flu.
Yes.
It was just the flu, and then this one mutation got particularly crazy, and because that mutation got crazy, it kept mutating, and then it mutated itself out of the gene pool.
Yeah.
It mutated itself so bad that it couldn't survive anymore, right?
Well, and that's like COVID.
Exactly.
How incredibly fast it mutated to transfer between animal to animal, but then animal to human. And they were shocked at how quickly it was able to evolve. And then not only that, but then mutated into multiple different strains.
And there's all sorts of ones out right now that are still scary. Wear your masks.
Yes, wear your masks.
I don't care if you're vaccinated, wear your mask.
Yeah, wear your mask and social distance at the very least. Please just be safe. It's still dangerous out there.
So then Bramley says this thing. He says, scientists more recently have come up with a theory that it must be from space.
Yeah.
That the Spanish flu must have come from space, right?
Did he explain why they thought it came from space?
And what scientists? And why are they not on the show?
I want to hear from them.
Yeah, get those guys. Or girls, sorry. Get those scientists. And then it moves on to this incident in September of 2007 in Caracas, Peru, where there is a fireball in the sky, a big loud explosion, a crash.
Very scary.
The ground shakes. It's like an earthquake. And there's debris for like nearly a mile in every direction. There's debris all over. And then people get sick.
Yeah. 200 people.
Yeah.
Not so good. They feel very sick.
Yeah, they just feel icky, you know? Not a lot about the symptoms. I don't know what exactly kind of sick we're talking about.
Space sick.
Yeah, I guess.
We don't know.
Does this suggest that there are these living organisms that are coming from somewhere else in the universe?
If they can survive on that rock on the space station for a year and a half or mutate in zero gravity like salmonella, if a scary rock with lots of germs falls to Earth, I mean...
But does that mean someone's sending them?
Not necessarily, but I think the idea of germy rock coming to Earth, that actually seems a little bit plausible and a little bit scary.
A germy rock.
A germy rock.
It's a cool new genre of new metal, germy rock.
DJ Whamsley, germy rock. Germy rock with Mothman.
Then in 2006, NASA sends up this aerogel stuff. Have you ever seen this stuff?
I haven't. I didn't even know that this had happened.
Oh, I saw it on a YouTube. So in 2006, NASA does this Stardust mission where they send blocks of aerogel into the tail of this comet. So aerogel, I saw it on that Veritas.
Oh yeah,
YouTube, right? Shout out to them. I think it's like little nanotubes or something, if I remember right. So it's crazy light, but also crazy strong, and it absorbs tons of everything. So it absorbs
picks it all
light, water, all sorts of stuff.
It's like the sham
Heat.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can get, except for like fancy, it can get like super hot. Like you can like put a blowtorch on it and hold it in your hand at the same time, like because it absorbs all the heat, like sucks it into those little nanotubes. I think. Maybe I should have watched the YouTube.
Nope, I'm quoting you on it.
But if I remember right, that's what it is. So it's really cool stuff. They send it through the tail of the comet.
Comet 81 P Wild.
P Wild. Woo! Getting crazy. It picks up all sorts of particles that they study in detail, and they find these amino acids.
Yeah, glycine.
Which I guess is a building block for life.
Yeah.
I go back to my like life as we know it, but still.
But could be. Like we know that is a component for life.
For life here. Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
So, wow.
So the narrator's like, could they be a delivery system for alien microbes? I'm like, I guess asteroids could be that.
Okay.
I mean, sure. Interesting they find the amino acid though. Like, that's very cool.
That's that's legit sciencey and very legit cool.
The leap to like its alien germ public transport is
it's
like,
where we're taking this very real science stuff based in fact and then being like, alien spin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they do with a lot of these PhDs and things where I feel like they're just saying, yeah, there could be life in space. And then they go, definitely aliens.
Definitely aliens.
Like, I feel like we're getting a lot of that. Very real, important, relevant science things that then they go, evidence of extraterrestrials.
So then Dr. Chandra kind of says that. He's like, they're probably, like, if that's true, they're more like hitchhikers. It's not like someone is sending them through space
It's just a coincidence.
Right. And then in the 60s, they start this new field of science called cosmochemistry.
Yeah. Harold Urey.
Yep.
Or Urey.
Urey? I don't remember.
Don't know.
But they start studying this kind of idea. So they start studying like fossilized bacteria
Fossilized space bacteria.
Really neat that they're finding on all sorts of asteroids and comets and stuff. Yeah.
And at first everyone was like, this is stupid. And now they're like, oh no, maybe this was legit.
Yeah.
Like at the time they were like, space bacteria.
But now you can study
like,
all those things.
Oh no, he was absolutely right. Yeah. Harold was correct.
Yep. And in 1996, these NASA researchers, they find a space rock, a meteor in Antarctica, and they say that it's got fossilized remains of life on Mars. Which
wild.
There's like a lot of dots there that I don't understand how those connect. I'm sure it's true. Yeah. Because they have like a news clip of President Clinton talking about
like an actual U.S. president.
Yeah.
And then when they say Mars life, it is like microscopic
and fossils of.
I feel like I remember watching some of this and thinking life on Mars, and it was like, oh, it's like germs.
Yeah.
which is still cool. But as you know, as like a 10-year-old, I was like, oh,
it's not people. And then as recently as 2011, NASA scientist Richard Hoover published all of this evidence that he found in meteorites of like fossilized bacteria. Like apparently it's all over the place if you know where to look. Yeah. And Dr. Chandra says it's called the biggest rumpus.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
I love it. Career. I love it. Rumpus. It made me laugh so
hard. Rumpus.
Again, we're back to this like, these bacteria must have been sent here deliberately. Yeah. So I guess that's where we're going.
In this episode we are.
I guess.
Maybe if we were watching a different documentary that was a little more science-y.
All of these same people would have a completely different point of view. But.
Which again, hey, I'm here for aliens. I'll lean into it. I'm going to give you a little bit of shit. I'm here for the ride, but I might raise my hand and have some questions.
I totally agree. I want this stuff to be real.
Right.
That's why I have like a high standard. Now we're going to talk about what happened in Kerala, India. Oh, sorry, Kerala, India. I apologize. There's a cosmic bang, is what they say. Cosmic bang. So there's a big explosion in the atmosphere. And then it starts raining red.
It's red.
It's red rain.
Feels very biblical.
It sure does. Feels a very plaguey.
I mean, maybe that's me seeing things through a religious lens, but it feels a little bit like
it could also be
some biblical shit.
I mean, maybe you're just seeing it through a Charlton Heston lens.
That's a good lens.
That's how I live my life.
Every Easter's.
Yeah, same. So a guy named Gregory of Tours, I don't know who that is supposed to be. Maybe he's really important. Yeah. Don't just throw out a name. Tell me who that is. Yeah. He said that there was some blood rain during that Justinian plague. And then in the 14th century in Germany, there was some blood rain associated with the Black Plague. So Dr. Godfrey Lewis collected samples. And apparently there were like what looked like living cells. And that's the most scientific explanation we get.
Which is a very creepy thought.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love a living rain. It said no.
In 2001, a lady who used to work at a hospital in Boston, she discovers these black, blue, white fibers.
This freaks me out so bad.
Oh, this, what's it called again? Morgellons. I want to say Magellans. Morgellons disease. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's kind of a weird thing.
It's deeply upsetting to me.
So
unsettling, upsetting, all of it.
It's the syndrome disease, we're not really sure, where you get like sores that look pretty bad. They showed some pictures.
They called them volcanic in the look.
And then out these sores come all sorts of little fibers. And
you have a lot of neurological symptoms like pain and like neuralgia and all that stuff.
Yeah, sounds bad.
The fibers.
It's kind of weird, right?
It stresses me out. And they don't know what it is.
They don't know what it is. Yeah.
And this is recent.
Yeah.
And like 12,000 people have been affected by this in like 50 countries.
There's like a whole center.
Why?
Yeah. I think that the case the show is trying to make, but I don't think they do a great job of it, is I know that we have like reprogrammed microbes to make fibers. Like instead of making carbon dioxide or whatever, they make these nanofibers, right? So I think what they're trying to say is that these microbes could be in these people making these fibers and that it was aliens.
Aliens made these microbes and the byproduct of the microbes is these fibers and then the symptoms. The whole thing on Morgellons is we know nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's oh boy. They don't know how you get it. They don't know what it is. They don't know, like, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think anything with fibers is not my favorite. Kind of wrapping things up and really to just drive home that fear of germs. Yeah. They say that the amount of germs we have, or like different types of germs we have, even just on this planet, our terrestrial Earth is 5 with like 30 zeros after it, which is a ridiculous amount of math. It's a scary amount of math, and it's a scary amount of organisms. I don't like it. Basically, it's just kind of opening the door. Like, if that's what we got here,
there's a lot of potential.
Hey, do you know how many planets are in the universe?
Nope. A lot.
I bet it's more than 5 with 30 zeros after it.
Yeah. If the aliens sent the germs, if the aliens did it on purpose, if the aliens, like, there's so many germs, all those things could be true.
Yeah. They could have already dropped some off.
And then, because it's ancient aliens, they're just like, all right, well, have a nice night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Brush your teeth, wash your hands.
Don't
wear your mask.
Exactly. Which is, I guess, our parting message to you.
That's true.
What's It's and Weird, a pro-mask podcast.
Yes. Just pro-health. Like, just take care of your bod.
Yeah.
You only got the one.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
We have to stop doing shots before we record?
Shit. You know what? Retract that.
You only live
once.
We don't
care. You guys take care of yourselves. Don't judge what we do.
Mind your business. But if you do have suggestions on what we should watch next, those emails can go to whatsitsandweird@gmail.com.
Hell yeah, they can. Yeah. Put episode suggestion in the subject line so it doesn't get shuffled in with all of our fan mail.
With all of the fan mail. Stop. From Brittney, stop laughing.
From our 8 followers on Instagram. Yeah. Come follow us on Instagram. What's It's and Weird on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yeah. And check us out on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
What's our Twitter handle?
It's What's It's Pod.
What's It's Pod.
Because What's It's and Weird was 1 letter too long.
Thanks, Twitter.
Thanks a lot. So next week we're going to be watching Monster Quest, blood-sucking chupacabra attacks with an exclamation point.
Heyo.
You can find it on YouTube. So easy to watch.
Come back and talk about it with us.
It's going to be very fun.
It's going to be
I'm
great.
super excited.
All right, ExtraterrestriPals out.
What's up, weirdlings?
Heyo.
How are you guys?
Well, I'm good.
Because they can't respond.
Are you talking to me?
That's true. I don't know.
Great.
I'm so glad you're great.
Thank you.
I'm still new to this podcast thing.
Well, that's okay.
I'm Brittney also.
I'm Cambria.
I'm Brittney. I'm going to say my name again. In case I need to edit. Let's do this one more time.
Okay.
That's going to be all of our outtakes, isn't it?
I know.
You have to be quiet.
I know. Turns out the hardest part of podcasting is silence.
Not talking.
Yeah. What, supposed signing in Portugal?
Portugal. I like it.
1 shot and 1/3 of a beer.
1/3.
For the record. According to ancient astronaut theorists, this event is considered an extra. God damn it.
Yeah. No, phone, stop it. I thought you were on silent.
For the record, that
bastard.
was Brittney's phone. Stop being a lecturer sounds cool because people just pay you to talk. I need that gig.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing right now.
Well, no one's paying.
That's true. No, yeah, that's true. I'm paying you in French.
I was gonna say I'm just being paid by. I'm getting to spend time with you.
You're getting. I love you so much too, yeah, it's friendship and maybe a hard lemonade. Well, no, I know another Seth too that I was thinking is very much maybe the embodiment of a creature of disease. Teenagers don't shower enough. Let's just put that out there.
Fine.
We're gonna leave that out of the podcast. We don't Seth shame on this podcast.
Or chef. I mean, if you got a chef.
If I had a chef, I would never shame them.
Absolutely not. About what?
Just make me like a gourmet grilled cheese.
You know how I am about the spices.
Yeah, just not crazy spice. More creamy.
Can I go half
jack.
Munster, half pepper jack?
In fact, you probably should.
Okay. I'm down.
In fact, I think that's how it should be done.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, we're turning this off and we're gonna go make sandwiches now.
See you later.
In the annals of history. Ooh. I feel like I have to make at least one really, really inappropriate joke every time so we can justify that I'm so sorry, Dad, and TJ at the end. I took this life you gave me and I've made a raunchy podcast.
You've done this.
I should also make sure this is recording still because it is. We're fine.
Great.
Everything's great. We're doing so good. I'm so proud of us. Deezies. We are committed to this. We are doing this until we are ghosts.
Yeah.
Ghost podcast.
Best friend ghost.
Yeah.
Oh.
We already confirmed. It's going to be so cute.
So cute.
Oh my gosh.
I love it already.
We're precious.
How would you be offended if I used your name?
I would not be offended.
In a way that you were
offended.
would be flattered. Thank you. If I used your name in a way that you were offended, how would that way be? Like, how would I have to use your name?
You're being a real Brittney right now.
Right.
Easier.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I'm not making
Do you know how many burps I had to edit out of Amityville, friend?
What?
I need to start the episodes not with a shot, but with a Tums. I'm so excited.
I know.
I've never been excited to be a ghost. I am now. In time. A long way down the road.
Ways away.
We're not talking right now, guys.
No.
Everything's fine.
We're good.
We have lots of podcasts to record before then. We're gonna take. That was very cute. I love these. They're so campy. They're so wonderful.
I totally agree.
And I love talking about them with you. It's the best. It's so fun. Thank you for letting me course you into this. It's worked out really well for me so far.
It's been fun. I'm sorry I put it off for so long.
No, it's who wants to do a podcast?
It's me.
Just me. That was a very funny hand motion you just did.
By funny, she means dirty.
Oh no!
This is what we're apologizing to TJ for.
Hey, Dad. Oh God, TJ. I am so sorry.
Oh my gosh, TJ, I'm so sorry.
I can't apologize enough.
Listen for one more second so that you can hear me say, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.